Good morning. This is a video about a truck driver, a Latino truck driver who lost brake on his truck. The truck brake fails and he was unable to stop the truck, and as a result 4 people lost their life. And my heart goes to the families and their loved one. And as for the drivers, I see a lot of misinformation about a driver in a truck. A lot of people don't know much about what is involved in when you drive a truck, and there's possibility of being why the brake fails. For example, the truck brake, see how this is the air brake. Even if the brake itself, let's say if the brake itself is brand new, if the airline, this is a pressurized system, so if the pressure is not getting through this vault, if it doesn't get through the vault, to get to the brake system, the brake will not work. When you apply brakes, the brake will just go soft. It will go down to the ground. It will not work. And that's what a lot of people fail to understand. The portion that why can he just use his foot to stop the truck? One, that's not possible. When the brake fails, that means these wires, this is pressurized, so those wires fail completely, and it doesn't matter how much time you apply the brake, how many times you apply the brake, it just will not work. And I wish there is a better example that I can show you. It's just the air system is not getting through these vaults to get to the airline. It's not working right, and it could happen suddenly, because the truck is 80,000 pounds, very heavy, right? You're going down the brake, you apply small amount of brake. One of these line, because the air goes through this vault, these most of the time it's like it's not a metal, and the air can burst through it. It can break the line, and the line can fail anytime. By the time the driver notices, you apply the brakes not working. Okay, know what I'm gonna do. You're going 70 miles an hour with the traffic. There is a very limited amount of time. There is no time. You're trying to avoid crashing into somebody, the truck crashing into somebody, because there is no way for you to stop, especially if you are in between 2 lanes. People say, why didn't he just run into the ditch? You don't have that opportunity. Sometimes you don't have that opportunity. There is, if you're in between lanes, for example, what are you gonna do? Kill this person next to you to get to the ditch? A lot of times people will try to avoid changing lanes, even though that means choosing between the person in the front of you or the people in aside of you. Which one you're gonna choose? It's a very hard decision. A lot of time people will just hope for the best and stay in their lane, assuming that waiting split second of a right time for the traffic to come to to get a chance for the traffic to open up, so there is enough room for him to change to the right lane or the left lane, whatever, to run off the road. He doesn't have that opportunity. This is a mountain area, Colorado, where this incident happened. It's very mountain area, and the truck is going down the hill. Also, when the truck is going down the hill and it doesn't have a brake, you have no control of the truck. The driver have no control of the truck. This is what a lot of people fail to understand. Driver is not driving the truck if he doesn't have the brake. It's like being inside a fallen building or a train. By the mere fact that you are inside a train doesn't make you responsible for stopping. You don't have the ability to stop the truck. You just don't have the ability to stop the truck. I'm sorry. And I drive trucks for 5 years. Thankfully, these things never happened to me. But understand that a lot of ignorance, a lot of dumb things that I see online is that he could have run off the ditch, he could have run off the road. That's what anybody would have done. But what do? You're in between the lanes, right? If you're on the end of the lanes, on the right lane, yes, that's what most people will do. And I'm sure this young man have no intention of hurting anybody. You can see in his testimony, and he said that he wished that his life, he would have been the one that got killed instead of those people. And I have no reason to doubt his sincerity. And he didn't have the options to run off the road, and he's going down the hill 100 miles an hour. It's not like this has been going on for a while. You have a split less than a minute time, where if you ever drive in a heavy traffic, people don't give you a chance to get off the road. Even if you signal to want to get in on the right lanes, the minute you notice, the second you notice the brake fails, you want to signal to get off, to get into the right lane so you can run off the ditch. People don't give you that chance. They will just run along you to block you from changing lanes. A lot of times that happens. Nobody understands this. The police don't understand. The DOT don't understand it. There is this huge propaganda, huge fake news about safety, and having a class of drivers, class of people on the road that were being treated totally terribly by the DOT. It's not necessarily have anything to do with these cases. This is just in general. But in this case, the running off the road is not possible for this guy to run into the ditch because he's in between lanes, right? And then people say, why didn't he take the runaway truck rams? Again, runaway truck rams is not available when you need them. These things are only available within 2, 3, 4 miles, sometimes 10 miles, sometimes 20 miles, sometimes there's nothing. They don't just appear in the front of you when you need them. When your truck lost brake, you don't have that opportunity to do that. None existed. Okay, and even if there is one, let's say there is a runaway rams right on your right hand side when you lose the brake. What are you gonna do with this line of trucks or line of cars that is already on the right lanes? You're in the middle lanes. How are you gonna get over to the right lanes to get to the runaway rams? These things people have to understand, that this guy don't want to crash into anybody, doesn't want to hit anybody, doesn't want to kill anybody, doesn't want to harm anybody. When the choice is to get to the runaway rams, even if there exists one, you have to crash into a bunch of people to get to that, to change the lanes. Sometimes the initial human instinct is to not hit somebody intentionally, and that's I believe that's what he did. he may have noticed there is a runaway ramps, but imagine you being there 100 miles an hour, few seconds you look over here, the line that you're supposed to be on, or to get to the runaway ramp is full of cars and trucks. How are you gonna get there? It's not an easy choice, but it's not the choice that you can make. Still, you know, the truck is gonna run over a bunch of people, and that doesn't mean that there is no people not going to die if you go into that lane. And then also, then why did the judge give him 110 years? It doesn't make it doesn't make any sense. This is not a justice. This is a miscarriage of justice. Here's why I say that. In Colorado, I looked through the court records of cases of people that sent to prison for the last 20 years. People who serial killers, rapists, people who engage in robberies of a worse kind. None of them ever get close to 100. Nobody ever get 100 years. You know, people that there's a guy that killed 6 people in Colorado. How many years he get? He didn't even get 10 years in prison. They basically sign off on him and saying he's insane. And every other criminal, it's just insane. How do you excuse giving a driver, what is his crime? What is his crime? He didn't intentionally kill anybody. The brake fails. What are you gonna do when for example, if you drive a train, a brake fails on the train, doesn't equal in that the train driver is not responsible for the equipment failures. And it's insane. And the fact that he was given 100 years, 110 years in prison is that just show me that they don't care about this, not only this person, but the idea of getting a justice, idea of being being a carrying out fair and just system sentences is not, his life is not valued, and the lives of people, certain people life are not valued equally. People seem to get different sentences in different courts in the United States based on their race, based on their identity. This happens in each and every side of the United States. If you are in a community of people that are black, let's say, if you live in a heavily populated black community, and if you're a white person convicted and brought in the front of a charge with some crimes, and you brought in the front of a judge, and the juries is going to be black people mostly. I'm assuming if the population of people are 80-90% black, you're gonna get the juries, the people who's gonna decide whether you die or live, were black people. And a lot of times I've been seeing this all over United States. It's like there is a genocidal race war in this country. People get sent to prison. The amount of time, amount of years they get is like based on their race. If you are in a heavily populated black population, and if you're white, you will get to send you will send to prison you will get sent to prison for a longer amount of time. And it's the same if you reverse it, you're a black person, you're in a heavily populated of white heavily populated in white neighborhood in America, the jury is going to be white, majority of them. And let's say if a jury of, sometimes they will say 4 white jury and then 2 black juries. Even if 2 black juries voted for you and these 4 people, or even 3 of them, voted to send you to die, you will die. And most of the time what ended up happening is that 4 of those will sign for you to go to die, and then that's enough, that's sufficient for the court system to send you to die in America. It's horrendous amount of garbage going on. And also there was an example of I was sent a picture of some woman that was sent to prison. Like this woman on the left failed to stop for a school bus, resulting in killing 3 children. Imagine you driving and you didn't stop, or for whatever reason her car didn't stop. I don't know if her brake fails or what the deal is, but and as a result of that, 3 children lost their life, and she was given 4 years in prison. And why is that? That this woman gets 4 years and this guy gets 110 years? This is like how could you reason that you live in this kind of society that devalues and the life of people that are different from you? You know, and this should speak volume, and it should be shameful. And these judges sitting behind the bench, committing genocide, committing crime against humanity in America, should be held accountable. It's shameful. It's really shameful. The system is the police, the judge, and the prosecutor in the United States. All of them work together, depending on where the locations. Their locations. Right now, American justice system is like driven by politics. If you live in a heavily immigrant neighborhood, the judges tended to be immigrant. The police intended to support the immigrant communities. And if you're white in that neighborhood, you will be mistreated terribly. You will be sent to prison like this guy. It may not be 110 years, but I guarantee you that you're not gonna get a fair trial, fair hearing in those set of circumstances. The same thing goes for heavily populated black neighborhood. You will not get fair hearing. You will not be. The law doesn't apply equally. This is happening everywhere in the United States. It's like every community is committing genocide against each other. This got to stop. This really got to stop. People should be given a second chance. For example, instead of accident is not a crime. It should not be a crime. You know, if you did not intended to kill somebody, and if you run a red light, for example, and somebody dies as a result of that, then of course the fact that you didn't stop for the red light in itself is a negligent or a mistake. Even though you didn't intend it to kill the person, your mistake causes the person to die, and that is an element that would account as a crime. But What happens if you, for example, you walk in right now and you fell? You know, it's slippery, snow outside. You fell, and as a result of that, somebody dies. You didn't intend to kill anybody. You didn't intend to fall down, but it happens. That shouldn't be a crime. You shouldn't be sent to hundreds of years as a result of that. That's exactly what is happening. This guy, he didn't manufacture the equipment. He didn't make the equipment that fails. He has nothing he could have done that prevented the accident. When you drive in a 80,000 pound and there is no brake, all of a sudden the brake is not working. These brake lines stop working. There is really nothing you could do. It's like you're in a building that is on fire. Remember 9/11? There's no way for you to escape, and there's no way for you to prevent the harm that happened to other people. As a result of that, I mean, this guy suffered enough, and his action did not cause the death of those people. The failed brakes did. Equipment failure. People die as a result of equipment failure. A lot of people fail to understand this, and I think there was something about this guy on this. I want to show you the Colorado. Like this guy, all drivers feel like their employee doesn't care, and those are the issues that American Trucking Association should be involved in investigate. Apparently the driver did nothing wrong and was wrongly sentenced. This is a sad day for trucking, and a lot of truck drivers understand this, because it's like if you're doing this job, you know that there are certain things human beings can be responsible for. We all drive every day, but most of you guys drive smaller cars, and it weighs very, very small, like 5,000-6,000 pounds. But the truck weighs 80,000 pounds. If a brake fails, nothing you can do. What are you gonna do? Push it off the road? And especially if you are in a position where you cannot turn left or right because there is traffic, you're done. There is nothing you can do. And in this case, they should have never pursued a criminal charges on this guy. They should have went. The family that lost the life of their loved one should have went after the trucking company and sue them for the wrongful death. The loved one, the people that die. Unfortunately, we can't get their life back. My brother was killed in a truck accident. He was driving Honda Civic, a smaller car. Even though it's totally different circumstances, it didn't happen in the mountain. The truck didn't lose control, didn't lose the brake. He pulled in the front of a truck when you're getting onto the highway. But nevertheless, it doesn't change the fact that I lost my brother. I love him so much, and that doesn't change the fact that there are circumstances in life that people should not be criminally sentences to 110 years like this guy. Imagine, what are you gonna do next time when also, let me show you the judge that did this case for this guy. And that is this is the judge, and his name is Bruce. His name is Bruce Jones. Bruce Jones is from Texas. Initially he was this is his name. This is publicly available. This is publicly available. There you go. His name. This is public information. I'm not asking for people to go and harass anyone or cause harm to the judge. I'm merely sharing information that are available online so that people knows who is involved in this case. Okay, so that those who want to push this idea and want to cage everybody and harass and bully and kill, threatening people that voices their opinion on issues, cannot say that I published the judge's information with intention of harms. I have no intention that anybody get harmed. I'm sharing merely public information. Okay. And so this judge and this judge is from Texas. See, it says Jones received his bachelor degree from Texas A&M universities. I went back to look at. He was also doing he did the same thing in Texas as well. He was appointed by another judge and in Texas, Houston, Texas. The judge that appointed him, he born in 1930. The judge that appointed him to a court in Texas. Remember, this is Colorado, but he eventually moved to Colorado. I don't know the reason why he did that, but so this is a person that thinks okay to send the human beings for the mere failure of equipment, life in prison, and it's reasonable according to him. And this guy, the truck drivers, he's only 24 years old. 24 years old. He have a long life ahead of him. He have families that love him, brothers and sisters and uncles, and my heart goes out to them as well. Stay tuned. Don't forget to what do you think of these? I'm interested to know. I know this is a huge issues right now, and it's politicized, and there are people who think that he deserved what he got, and he shouldn't even be. He shouldn't even have right to be in this country. And the sentiment that says he shouldn't be driving and doing our job anyway because he's stupid, he doesn't know how to do his job, that's why he caused accidents. I've seen a lot of sentiment like that from huge groups on Facebook group, large following, Facebook group with a lot of heavy following, like 100,000 followers on Facebook groups. A lot of American drivers saying that this is what you get when you bring in immigrant drivers. They don't know what they're doing, but I think they fail to realize, and they go and they think with their emotion, not with their mind. A lot of them are filled with the hate in their heart. They're not thinking logically. And so leave a comment. Don't forget to leave a comment, and just and any feedback, any ideas, whatever you think is welcome. You can write comment, you can do whatever you want, and stay safe out there. And if you see a truck losing control, or if a truck signal, get out of their way. And have a nice weekend. We'll talk to you later. Peace.